Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to Linked Up with Janine Capaldi. Linked Up is a new interview series where I'm going to be interviewing professionals from a range of different industries. So this is your opportunity to learn, to get inspiration and understand a little bit about how people are using social media to leverage themselves professionally. And today I'm talking to James Borden. Hi, James.
Hey Janine, how are you?
I'm really good, thank you. How are you?
I am doing absolutely wonderful and extremely excited to be here talking with you.
Oh, I'm so happy to have you here for the first interview as well, the inaugural interview. So yeah, I'm really excited. So let's jump right in today, James. So tell us a little bit about yourself, please, your journey to where you are now and what you do.
Yeah, so my name is James Bawden. I'm currently an inside sales development rep at a company called eValueServe in
Mm-hmm.
Raleigh, North Carolina. And my journey to where I am now, graduated from college in the middle of the Great Recession in 2008.
Mm-hmm.
It was just an absolutely wonderful time to leave college and enter the adult world.
I bet.
Yeah. And so, a lot of the things that I had lined up coming out of college just kind of fell apart, right, with the economy the way that it was. And I was kind of faced with needing to get a job to be able to survive, and had never thought about working in sales. Really never really crossed my mind. I majored in digital audio production, so I was interested in music and things like that, and ended up getting a job at Radio Shack. Uh, they hired me, and I needed a job. And from there, uh, that kind of launched a 9-year sales career that has taken me from retail wireless sales into the B2B side of things with inside sales. And here I am now. So yeah, it's been a really, really interesting journey, and one that has provided a lot of lessons along the way, for sure.
Wow, that's amazing, and I love how you didn't really plan it. It's where it sounds like at first it was perhaps even a necessity. You came out of
Mm,
college and you knew that you needed to do something.
very much so. Yeah, it was a survival thing, right? I never considered myself somebody that would even be good at sales.
Hmm.
And I think that's because, like a lot of people, I just had the wrong idea about what being a salesperson was,
Sure.
and then as I learned more and more, and got exposed to it more and started learning more, I realized that a lot of the things that I do well naturally and enjoy naturally serve me very well. So yeah, it was a very interesting journey.
Great, great. And so I guess I'd really like to know what most excites you about the world of frontline sales.
Yeah, in the last 3 years, so when I moved from retail sales into inside sales, I was an inside sales manager for a while. And then when I moved positions and got involved in sales development specifically,
Hmm.
uh, it was just such an interesting thing to me because I had always been involved with full cycle sales, right? You're the one that makes the cold call, and then you kind of take that prospect through and you close them. And working at eValueServe, the services that we offer are complex, and we work with large businesses. And so the sales cycles are extremely long. And I was just interested in that you could specialize in just opening doors,
Hmm.
right? And the thing that excites me about it the most is just the constant variety, right? I mean, uh, I never know what's going to happen. When I sit down to make cold calls for an hour, I have no clue how it's going to go,
Sure.
right? And so that provides some excitement, and also uh, getting to know other sales professionals, and learning from them, and seeing that everybody, even if we're doing the same thing, has a different experience, and
Yeah.
is learning different lessons. So that keeps it exciting for me. And ultimately it's the constant kind of change and needing to reassess what you're doing to see if it's working. I think that's kind of what's continued to excite me, and keeps me pumped to get up every day and do what I need to do.
Yeah, so it sounds like, yeah, like each day could be different. You don't know what you're going to get.
For sure, yeah. And for some people, you know, they might not like that, right? And to be quite honest with you, it took me a while to get used to it, you know, when I first started. But you either complain about it and find something else to do, or you learn to embrace it and realize that that's the beautiful part about it, right? I've been in sales for almost 10 years, and I feel like I have so much more to learn because everything's constantly changing. I mean, the landscape of being a salesperson now is so much different from when I started. And I can only imagine what it's going to be like in another 10 years. So all of that goes towards making me, keeping me on my toes.
Absolutely. So actually, this really leads on really nicely to my next question, because I was thinking before the interview about how we connected, and it was when I saw one of your video posts appear in my newsfeed, and I was really engaged with the content, and I could see that there would definitely be a mutual benefit to us being connected, which is why I reached out to you. And you do post content regularly on LinkedIn. You often record videos offering advice and words of motivation to others in sales. So my question is, why did you choose LinkedIn as the platform to post and share your content? And what have been the benefits to you of doing that?
Yeah, you know, I guess journey with social media in general has been kind of interesting. LinkedIn, when I first started, LinkedIn really wasn't a big deal. When I was in retail sales, social media didn't matter to me. I wasn't concerned with it. And I have gone through phases, I guess, where I was active on Facebook and active on Instagram, and just never really felt like there was much traction. A large part of that was that I was inconsistent with posting. And with LinkedIn, over the last year, I just noticed that there were so many people. There just seemed to be a lot of engagement, like real organic engagement, right? I don't like the idea of platforms where people can, you know, buy followers or create false engagement. And honestly, that's what turned me off when I was on Instagram, for example, right? A lot of the engagement seemed to be from robo likes, you know, and not real people. And so when I came to LinkedIn, I saw what was going on, and you know, I guess what had stopped me from creating content previously was that I just didn't really feel like I had anything relevant to say. I felt like I hadn't done enough. I felt like I was too young. Just all of the excuses that I think a lot of people give themselves to not create content.
Yes.
And I had a meeting, an in-person meeting, the first one that I ever had from a connection on LinkedIn, with Ted Rubin and John Andrews. They're two guys that are kind of marketing experts and social media experts. And I sat down with them, and the conversation that I had with them was eye-opening for me. They kind of told me, look, you have something valuable to give. Just from this conversation and you telling us your story, people would gain value from that. And then the other part was the consistency.
Yes.
Make videos every week, whether you get 1 like or 10 likes or 50 likes. Don't focus on that as much. Just focus on making consistent content that's speaking to people in your network and providing value. And so I really, that was September of last year. And since then, I really have made it a point to be consistent. And that, to me, is the biggest piece of advice that I would give anybody. You know, the consistency of just doing it every day.
Right.
And LinkedIn has been so great because the interaction really is organic. I mean, it's real people. And honestly, I haven't done much towards proactively growing my network either, right? So I'll add a few people that are common connections and things like that, but I've never gone and just added everybody on that people you may know list, right? Just to get my numbers up, right? It's all been organic growth, and that's just so much more valuable because the engagement rate is really high for the number of followers that I have.
Yeah, and you get that that's true engagement then, don't you? You know that these people that it's not a fake view or a fake like or a fake comment. They're all from people that genuinely are getting value from what you're sharing with your LinkedIn world.
Yeah, and that's why I have kind of chosen and stuck with LinkedIn. Recently, I've been thinking about moving to other, platforms, but I'm having too much fun on LinkedIn.
Me too. Great. So I'm really interested to know how you having an active social media presence, what if any impact has that had on your role? How has it influenced or helped you in your role?
Sure. My approach on LinkedIn is probably a little bit unique for a salesperson because I'm not actively selling anything for eValueServe. I actually make it a point to not really do that. One, a lot of, the people that I'm looking for really aren't active on LinkedIn, which is, probably the case for a lot of folks. And so when I realized that, I said, okay, so I can use this community really just to provide value based on things that I've gone through and learn from other people. And that's been the biggest advantage for me in my role, just the ability to connect with people like you or other people that are in my role. I mean, I've had the opportunity to speak with folks that I just never would have thought would give me the time of day, right? VPs of sales, CMOs, CROs, these people that just thought were way too busy to give me, some time. And I've really gotten so much out of that, right? Because if you can talk to somebody who's done what you want to do and, they can sit across from you and say, hey, you're on the right path. Whew, is that a relief, right? Yeah. And so that's been the biggest advantage for me, right? Is just the consistent posting, the consistent commenting and liking and real interaction and engagement has allowed me to meet people that I never would have met before and learn things that I just wouldn't have had the opportunity to learn. So I think for me, that's been the biggest advantage of being active on social, for sure.
Yeah. Oh, that's brilliant. And I think anybody that's in a similar position to you, similar role, I really hope that they find what you've said like as inspiration for themselves, because there's nothing, I think there's so much reward in like the validation of others, especially when you weren't expecting it, or it's from people that you never thought you were going to meet or engage with. So that's wonderful. And so one of the many benefits of LinkedIn is that it allows us to network and connect with people from our hometowns to people right across the other side of the world, which is we might not be right over the other side of the world, but we're definitely a very big ocean apart.
We're across the pond.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So if you could add a person or a skill to your network, what would it be?
I have been really focused on learning more about marketing. And because, as a salesperson, I've read tons of books on sales. I've watched tons of content and just consumed a lot around being a better salesperson. And from some of the interactions that I've had with some of those high level people that I've met through LinkedIn that are CMOs or CROs, or, are on a path that I would like to get to, proactively learning about something like marketing is an advantage for me. Right. And so um, for me, adding people who are marketing experts, who have experience in that, allows me to, say, hey, I would love to have a conversation with you and just kind of learn about what you do and how that plays into the sales side of things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I think a classic kind of struggle is with every organization is the sales versus the marketing departments. And so for me, I feel like if I can have a deeper understanding of what marketing leaders do and what their objectives are, that directly feeds into what I'm doing and also helps me as I continue to build my personal brand here on LinkedIn.
Absolutely.
So
Okay,
yeah,
great.
that would be the one that I want to continue to learn more about.
Brilliant. So if you're a marketing expert out there and you feel that you could be of benefit, of use, of value to James, please connect, get in touch with James. He wants to
I
hear.
will gladly accept those connection requests.
Great. So I have one final question for you today, which is, if you were to share one piece of advice from your career journey so far, what would it be?
To me, the biggest thing would be finding mentors.
Mm-hmm.
And places like LinkedIn make it just incredibly easy. When I was, 22, 23, starting out in sales, I just didn't see the value of having a mentor. I wasn't even thinking about it, right? I was trying to, figure out how to make it through a day without losing a sale, or, I was thinking in a very micro way, right? And it really only has been until like this last year that I realized how important it is for me to have mentors. And it doesn't have to be a official mentor-mentee relationship either. It could be a couple of messages that are exchanged from somebody who can offer you some insight on something that you're looking to do. And that's just helped me so much, right? It eases some of the worry and the anxiety that you have as you kind of navigate through your career. And I think especially for salespeople, because, there's no defined path, right? It's not like being a doctor. You go to school for X amount of years, you kind of know what's coming and you know what you're going to do, and you have a roadmap. For salespeople, it's kind of wide open, which could be an advantage or could create some anxiety and worry. So having, mentor-like relationships with people that have done what you want to do is just incredibly valuable. So anybody, whether you're in sales or marketing or whatever you're doing, I would suggest finding and seeking out mentors, because it really does help in so many different ways.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. In fact, yesterday I was at a mentoring event, which shows just how much I agree.
Yeah. It's incredibly important to personal growth and career development.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Thank you. Thank you so much. So to finish off, if people do want to get in touch with you, what would be the best way? Is it to connect on LinkedIn?
LinkedIn is where it's at.
Okay.
So yeah, just message me on LinkedIn, and something that I've, been doing kind of on a weekly basis is offering up time to speak with other folks, right? There's no fees involved or anything like that. I literally enjoy speaking to people, obviously, especially in kind of my world, the sales development world. And so I would encourage you to reach out to me, connect with me, and I'm always happy to have a conversation and help out if I can.
Great. You can hear that, people. James is ready. He's got time put aside. He wants to talk to you. Okay, that's great. Thank you so much for your time today, James. I've really enjoyed talking to you.
Thanks, Janine. I feel honored to be your first guest.
Oh, thanks.
I'm excited about this video series, and we'll make sure that let everybody know that there's some good stuff going on here.
Thank you. Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks.